Stress Bay that I just played was written down by a man named Neil Gow. He's sort of the Scottish Bach for 18th century music in Scotland, fiddle music in Scotland. And variations like that on one Stress Bay is common, and variations on the fiddle sort of throughout history is taking tunes and borrowed from old Gaelic songs and from Highland piping tunes, from border piping tunes. And then it had, of course, its own strong history and tradition all along. And one of the things that I very rarely play at a festival, I do at concert halls, but I've always done it at the McHenry Festival. This is, we figured out, my 18th consecutive year here. As I was saying last night at the concert, that when I signed on with it, eventually signed on with an agent and started doing concert halls, I told him there's only 2 festivals that I'm still always going to do, no matter what. That you can't touch, you can't book, you can't do anything, and I'm there, and McHenry's one of them. So I just love coming here. And I love watching this festival develop and grow, but not too much. And that's one of the reasons I love coming here, is because of the intimate feeling here, and it's just, and the people you all are just so incredibly like family and friendly, and I love that the agricultural emphasis is here, and you know, it's just not crazy. A lot of them get too big, and I like this. I like coming here, hills. It's just like Scotland. I was just back from Scotland a couple days ago when I was over there recording Pibroch for the BBC. Pibroch, I was talking earlier about these variations. Pibroch has sort of been my passion for 25, 30 years, and in the history of Scottish fiddling, there were only 13 Pibroch ever written for the fiddle. Pibroch is sort of known as the classical music of the Highland bagpipes. And I've always recorded a Pibroch on the last track of all my recordings. And so I'm working on it. It might take a year or 2 years. I'm not going to rush it. Pibrochs can't be rushed. But I'm doing a double CD project on 3 continents of Pibroch music. And because there were only 13 written for the fiddle, it was all in the 18th century. I've written my own Pibroch, and I've also explored the history of Pibroch, going back to the clarsach, the harp, as well as the pipes. So it wasn't just written for the pipes, but the pipes certainly took it over in an incredible way, and there's competitions on Pibroch, and it means large music, as opposed to the small music, which are the marches, Stress Bays, and reels, and the dances and things. And so both sets I'll play you 2 different Pibroch. This one I'll play, it's off the last track of Inheritance, and this is one of the original Pibrochs, and it's called Lachanali, and it's Oswald wrote it in the 18th century, just after 1745, after the disaster in Culloden. And this Pibroch is interesting because it actually musically follows a battle. Pibroch are written and played after battle, but not always are they laments. Sometimes they're just played in company, and Pibroch can be written for a lovely woman, or there's a Pibroch that I'm recording coming up on the finger lock, and it's about a finger, the piper's finger locks up and you can't play anymore. And they say there's only a certain amount of ornamentations they can use with that little finger, and then it runs out. So he wrote a lament for his finger. So some of them don't necessarily are after a battle, but this one is. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the development of this battle. And if you watch me, you'll see I do all kinds of different ornamentations with my bow as well as my left hand, and vibrato, which is this. You move your hand. There's multiple different kinds of vibrato and ornamentation, both from the fiddle and the bagpipes. So if you listen, you'll hear the battle develop, and you can hear them sort of marching towards each other. Remember, this is the 18th century, so you really want to be close before you volley those shots. Hear this until it just, there's carnage, and you'll hear all kinds of dissonance. It's very intense. And then it returns back to the Erler. The Erler is the main theme of the Pibroch, and it returns to the main theme. And I know that probably 99 to 100% of you have been on a battlefield either in this country or in Scotland, and the feeling that you get from the spirits there, just the energy is being on Culloden, if you've been there, and standing there and the wind blowing in the grass, you really get a huge sense of history and grief and humanity. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the wind blowing in the grass.